Okay, gentlemen, I've given you both the rules. You know I'm expecting good, clean boxing. When I say break, stop punching, take a full step back. Remember, protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to you both.
Nahir Albright told me he's fighting for his uncle, Terrell Brown, who is fighting stage 4 cancer. Kelvin Davis is fighting to represent the 757. Norfolk, Virginia. Gets a great opportunity to shine. Tim, what makes Kelvin Davis must-watch TV?
Look, I don't know if he's must-watch TV, but I'll just tell you this. You're going to have to watch him tonight. Knows how to use his height very well. He's almost in and out, and he's almost one of those fighters that should be fighting at 147 pounds, but he squeezes down to 140 pounds to give him the advantage. He has the height advantage. He also has the reach advantage tonight. Albright's going to have to get outside himself. Albright is a counterpuncher, a natural counterpuncher. He's going to have to get real aggressive, get on the inside, work the body of Davis, and not allow him to control the pace and the distance that he want to fight at.
Nahir Albright hasn't had a professional boxing match since that no contest or no decision against Keyshawn Davis, who beat Nahir Albright, but then it was overturned when Keyshawn tested positive for marijuana in Rosenberg, Texas. That was in October of 2023, but he's been active 9-4 in 13 TCL fights in 2024 and 2025. So a different type of boxing activity, but he gets to face the eldest brother of Keyshawn Davis, who says, look, Keyshawn's one guy, I'm going to knock him out.
And let's also mention Albright is moving up from 135, where he fought Keyshawn. He's moving up to 140 pounds, so this is a different division for him altogether. And you can see how heavy those punches are coming from Davis right there. Albright is going to be about positioning. This southpaw versus orthodox. You already know, opposites attract. Those lead hands are going to be battling for position, you know, trying to find lanes to be able to land their shots. The right hands line up perfectly when you get that lead foot outside the lead foot of your opposition. And also know the heads collide, right? There was a brief head collision right there on the chin of Davis when they're throwing their power shots. So something to look for while you're watching this match. It's already starting to get dirty, and this is the fight that Albright wants on the inside, not allowing the taller, longer, rangier fighter, Davis, to get off.
There's that stick that Ryan Bomac McIntyre demands from Kelvin Davis. See the height differential. 5'8" versus 6'1", and a 3.5-inch reach advantage for Kelvin Davis, and that allows him to connect combinations like that one.
So it's early right now, and Albright is already trying to commit and close that distance. He needs to be careful, especially in this first round when you got Kelvin with all that power. Hey, that was good right there. Good entry point right there for him as well. But, man, be careful, because he can leave himself open lunging forward.
First round of this fight in the books here in Norfolk.
You want to try to land that right hand, and again, it's about positioning and getting that lead foot outside to be able to line up that right hand. And Albright was able to do that in that last round.
Take a look at that right hand from Albright, and he set it up perfectly, lunged.
It was a nice little jab feint, a small little feint right there with the lead hand. You know, Davis thought that he was going to battle with him with the lead hand. Possibly. No, he didn't. He just flecked it out there, disguised it, and then threw that right hand behind.
Both fighters come from fighting families. For Kelvin Davis, he's the eldest of the three brothers, followed by Keyshawn, the former world champion, and Kelvin, who got a big knockout earlier on in our undercard. Their mother, Wanda, is the manager. On the other side, Nahir Albright, his sister, Damaris Dawkins, is a pro wrestler. His younger brother, Isaiah Johnson, is a pro. His father, Terrence Brown, and his twin brother, Terrell Brown, were also professional fighters. So, I'm talking about pedigree.
Yeah.
Tonight's main event will now feature Abdullah Mason, 18-0, 16 knockouts as a pro, the WBO's #2 lightweight contender to the belt that is now vacant after Keyshawn Davis missed weight by a whopping 4.3 pounds. His first hometown title defense was canceled when Edwin De Los Santos did not agree to the terms of giving up that size advantage, and so now that belt will be up for grabs in the very near future. All Abdullah needs to do is win tonight's main event against the always tough Jeremiah Nakathila.
Overhand right just missed for Albright. Davis is a calculated counterpuncher, so he's going to sit outside. He's going to attempt to allow Albright to commit with some offense so he can counter it.
And look, I was at... Oh, how about that?
There it is.
He's been dropped once before on the Canelo undercard, and you see, oh, that should have been a knockdown because he was trying to hold on as Nahir Albright was looking to punish him. Nice uppercuts from Nahir Albright, and here comes the man they call Lou, and now we know why.
He's here to wreck the party. It's important for Davis to try to tie it up so he can clear his head. It's extremely important right now, especially for the Davis brothers right now. You already lost one.
He was dropped in his second pro fight by Jean Marsalek on Canelo Billy Joe Saunders at the end of round 4 by a right hand. And that almost happened here, Tim.
That was a dang good round from Albright. If you're his team, you're happy with the work that he's done thus far.
The crowd trying to get their man up and hype. Kelvin Davis, they're on their feet, hoping he can get back into this fight.
Oh!
Nice right-left combination by Albright.
It's the level change that Davis is not anticipating. And it's a fight that's about to break out, baby. Let's go.
Crowd on its feet here inside the Scope Arena. Sold over 10,000 tickets. Over 2,000 of them said, give me my money back once Keyshawn Davis lost his belt on the scale. But now it's Kelvin Davis's moment to fight through in this battle against Nahir Albright.
Yeah, Davis is not respecting the level change. He's pulling straight back, and Albright is attacking off that level change. All he's doing is squatting down, bending those knees, and he's coming up. He's looking for that overhand right. There it is again.
And Tim, sometimes you say, okay, this guy is at a disadvantage because of the length and height of Kelvin Davis. But if you know how to use it, it can be to your advantage.
If you know how to exactly use it, it can be to your advantage. But at the same time, there's some holes in Davis's game that Albright understands. He sees that he's doing the level change, and Davis is not squatting down with him. And he sees that Davis is not moving his head out the way. His head is directly on the center line. And when you see that being experienced as as Albright, you're going to take advantage of those opportunities all day. Just look at that head of Davis. Look where it's centered all the time. See if he gets that head off the line.
He didn't there.
Just pay
Albright
attention.
just missed. Moments ago, you saw the entire Davis family. Mom, Wanda, who's their manager, Keyshawn, Keon, Grandma in the house, and there was concern for how effective Nahir Albright has been in the first 3 rounds against Kelvin Davis. He gets clipped again by the right.
See, the taller opposition, what they do is they pull straight back out of range. They're used to being the taller fighter, so they pull themselves back out of range. They don't necessarily drop and bend their knees and get underneath shots. So that overhand right is going to be there all night long. Let's see if Davis can make the adjustment.
Well, he throws to the body finally, and that changes the rhythm of the fight momentarily for Davis.
And let's also remember that Davis got firepower of his own. That uppercut can find his way home. He can catch Albright lunging forward with that right hand with an uppercut.
8 knockouts in 15 fights for Kelvin Davis. 7 knockouts in 16 victories for Nahir Albright. Trying to make this rough here as we close out round 3. Norfolk, Virginia came out in force to see the Davis brothers fight tonight. It's Kelvin Davis's turn right now, and he's having some trouble with Nahir Albright, Tim, early on.
Again, that level change right there. You see the squat, bend his knees, come up with the overhand right, but look at the thumb going right into the eye of Davis. You got to pay attention to see if that eye is going to swell up.
Yeah, luckily for him, he's got one of the best in the business. Jacob Stitch Duran working cuts in the corner of Kelvin Davis. And good start for Kelvin here in round number 4, letting his hands go as he was admonished by Ryan Bomack McIntyre in the corner.
Man, there's fights where things are not going the way you planned them to go, you know. And sometimes you just have to forget the game plan, throw it out the window, and you just got to go in there and fight and go in there and win and just be instinctual. That's what Davis is going to have to do right now. He's going to have to get instinctual, use his experience.
Albright with the inside work here until referee Malik Wahid breaks them up. And that 1-2 from Davis, trying to use his range.
Because it's like you don't want to give Albright confidence.
Yeah.
He hurt you, and then like you want to get some get back. You don't want to allow him to build confidence and keep coming forward and being aggressive. You got to give him something to worry about. That's what you have to do.
Oh, nice body shot from Davis, and Albright answers with the right of his own.
Small adjustment right there from Davis. He's getting out of the way of that looping right hand. He knows it's coming now, so he's expecting it. He's a half a step ahead of it right now. That's why he's making it miss. He sees it coming.
And you can see he's clear-eyed the way his eyes are tracking Nahir Albright's movements now.
Yes. And then he's doing the right thing. He's along the ropes. He knew he was along the ropes. He stepped in and tied up Albright.
Don't lean on him. Don't lean on him, Davis. Okay, stop. No punching, no punching.
That's the offense I'm talking about. Then he popped him with a 1-2, quick 1-2 down the middle to give him something to think about.
Oh, he got caught.
Oh, he got caught.
Left hook and a right from Nahir Albright. And once again, Kelvin Davis is on shaky legs.
And he's holding on for dear right. He's doing the right thing. He's showing the right signs that he's okay, because you have to tie up when you get buzzed like that.
That's a low blow by Albright.
But he looks back, and he's fighting back. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Oh, another solid right from Nahir Albright, and then 3 lefts on the inside, and Davis almost tackles Albright. Round 5 of the scheduled 10-round fight. Kelvin Davis, Nahir Albright, Bernardo Soon alongside Tim Bradley. Tim, you reach.
I teach, baby. That's what Albright did right here in this sequence. Beautiful right hand, just being in position to let that right hand go, but it was off a jab because Davis reached with a shot. He reached with that left foot, that right hook right there. And then what did he do after? Pull straight back, because taller opposition, that's what they do. They pull straight back. It's a bad habit that they develop because they're always fighting shorter men.
All right, let's bring in Mark Krieger with his unofficial scorecard through 4 rounds.
39-37, 3 rounds to 1. Nahir Albright, who came into McFadden and Whitehead Big Philly song, spoke to his cut man, Michael Pabani, says, that eye abrasion ain't gonna be a problem to handle.
Mark Krieger usually really good with the 1960s music references, but my man came up big with the 2025.
Oh my goodness.
My goodness.
I like what Albright is doing. He's faking. He's doing some pre-slips right now. You'll see him drift and go into his lead foot. He'll move his head to the left. Right now, he's cutting off the ring right now, trying to cut off the escape of Davis. But he's disguising that right hand with those pre-slips. He's rotating his shoulders like he's going to throw that looping right hand, but he doesn't throw it. He's trying to time it.
And you'll recall, Albright lost a majority decision against Keyshawn Davis, the middle brother of Kelvin Davis, who eventually went on to become the lightweight world champion, lost that belt on the scale. This Friday is off the card when his fight against Edwin De Los Santos was canceled. But what I'm getting to at is Albright is no soft touch.
No, he isn't. No, but this is the fight that Davis wanted. He picked Albright. He said, I want a challenge. He's testing himself tonight. I expected a dang good fight tonight. I expected this type of fight.
Work clean, work clean. Let his arm go.
Subtle feints right there from Albright again, changing up his rhythm, then sneaking behind those feints, those foot feints.
There's that double jab from Albright. Short jab, turn, hook, and then another jab.
Albright putting a lot of pressure on Davis. You know, this is Davis's first 10-rounder. He's putting a lot of pressure on him. A lot of mental pressure, a lot of physical pressure on him. He's making a miss with a lot of his shots as well, but he's staying close enough to try to counter. He's making what he's doing believable.
We're halfway through this fight. It's been on Nahir Albright in the first half of this fight against Kelvin Davis to open up our ESPN broadcast. But now, let's see what answers Kelvin Davis can come up with alongside Brian Bomac McIntyre over there in the red corner.
The reason why this fight is heating up is because in the first round, Albright, he said, you think I'm here to box you? I'm here to fight you from the first round. Completely got out of his element because Albright is a counterpuncher, man. Sweet boxer, likes to fight on the outside, could fight off the back foot as well, but he's coming forward tonight. He's taking the fight to Davis. That's the reason why we got to fight people.
The DB3 team is Keyshawn Davis, Keon Davis, and Kelvin Davis. You can see the concern in the former world champion's face because Nahir Albright, who gave him all he could handle, is giving his older brother Kelvin all he can handle tonight in their hometown on Harbor Week. They already had the disappointment of Keyshawn losing his belt and not fighting tonight, missing out on $1 million payday. And now the unbeaten record of Kelvin Davis is in danger.
Just a little bit off the mark, grazing blow, right hand. Nice little angle right there from Albright. Looking for that looping right hand. You know, southpaws are used to straight right hands coming, but the looping shots, they're in frame and then they're out of frame. They're hard to see. You see that backhand of Davis is blocking his vision as he holds it up above his left eye. That's the reason why that right hand is sneaking over the top.
Moments ago, we saw Jeremiah Nakatila, who will be in tonight's main event. The former world title challenger will look to break his negative mark against undefeated fighters after losses to Shakur Stevenson in a title fight. Raymond Murataya, the current IBF interim champion. And Uber prospect Ernesto Mercado. Now he has to face probably the hottest prospect in the game today. Now a contender, Abdullah Mason, in tonight's main event. Davis yet to figure out how to stop Nahir Albright's forward progress. You see that body shot
and the body work now. And he's staying tight right now. And Davis is standing along those ropes squared up.
I mean, Davis needs to conjure up some magic here to get the crowd into it and get himself going, Tim.
Oh, big left hook right there. I don't know if it landed. Might have been partially blocked or might even got out of the way of it. There's another, yeah, grazing blows. Oh, big shot right there, they exchange. Man.
And 3 of those consecutively have come by knockout after making his debut in this same building last November on a DB3 undercard. Nice right hand here from Nahir Albright. The concern on Kelvin Davis's corner. His brothers Keon and Keyshawn are visibly trying to egg him on to do something different and change the tide of this fight, Tim.
Absolutely. I mean, they see exactly what I see. You know, Albright again is gaining more and more steam each round. He's pressing forward. He's changed that right hand from the looping right hand. Now he's throwing it straight down the pipe, but nope. Nice right hand again.
Break out of there.
But what I like what Albright is doing is he's not stepping straight back anytime that you see Davis shoot any punches. He's stepping inside.
Explain why that's important, Tim.
Because Davis got the longer arms. So if you step back out of range, you're going to allow him to extend with those long arms. But if you step in, you shorten those arms. You take them away.
And you know what? The jab is the best punch you can use as a tall fighter. And Kelvin Davis, after doing it in his last fight against Jose Marufo to get the win, is not able to do it against Nahir Albright. And in the corner, Bomac was telling Kelvin, look, you got to work behind the jab, because if not, you're just going through the motions and you're going to lose this fight.
One of the most interesting things right now that I'm seeing is that Albright, even although he's a 135-pounder, he seems to be stronger than Davis on the inside, more physical. Yes, he got the shorter arm so he can work them. However, he seems to be the stronger of the two on the inside.
Reminds me of what you said in the first round. Melting himself down to 140 pounds when you are 6'1". At some point, it catches up to you.
Absolutely.
It caught up to his brother, and now it may be catching up to him.
It's a cut on the eye, I believe. I see blood on the right eye of Albright.
Right here. That's the last time on the hold. Stay off your hold.
Not sure if that's from a punch or a butt. However, we got the best in the business in the truck. They gonna find it. They will find it.
No punching.
I think we need a little bit more work from Davis. A little bit more.
That's sniping left uppercut. And sometimes seeing that blood, Tim, will wake you up.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's done for Kelvin Davis.
That's what I'm talking about.
Finally letting his hands go here in the 7th round.
And what he's doing is he's getting down to his level. I love it. He's getting down. See him bending his knees now? He eye level. He has an advantage. Now he can see if the looping shot is going to come, and he can get underneath it. Also, he can use those long arms, and they're the same height. People don't know nothing about that.
7 rounds.
They don't know nothing about that.
The fight may change down the stretch here on Top Rank Boxing on ESPN. Round 8 of a scheduled 10-round fight. And referee Malik Walid didn't make a signal in terms of the cut on the right eyelid of Nahir Albright being a headbutt or a head clash. Crucial moments and crucial determinations to be made, because we saw what happened with Navarrete and Suarez. Albright on the offense once again, and Davis trying to counter.
I understand that Davis is trying to get in the rhythm, trying to change his pace up, but he got to be careful. Albright is staying close enough to be able to counter. He's going to catch him while he's bouncing up and down when his feet are off the ground. Perfect time to rush in there and take chances if you Albright. See, there it is again, catching him on the way out. And those punches are small shots, but they look like they're doing some damage because the way that Davis is reacting to him, being off balance because his feet are in the air.
Albright said, you're going to keep moving. I'm going to hit you with the stab jab and set up the overhand right.
Watch your heads.
A short left hook there from Albright on the inside.
Yeah, and that pressure is starting to add up for Albright. Walking in behind that high guard. Again, all that wrestling and tussling on the inside, that takes a lot out of you. It does. Albright understands that, it knows that.
Albright reaching here in round 8, but he's not getting disciplined by Davis.
No, Albright just staying real low. Staying real low, below sea level.
Oh,
there it is.
Short left uppercut from Davis.
Catching him as he was moving out. You see the combinations to follow up. And there wasn't a whole, I mean, look, there wasn't a whole lot of shots that were big. However, the volume is what I'm looking at.
We're clean. Your hands are free.
Both fighters right now are just resting right now. They're resting.
Inside work from Albright.
The fighter that's more consistent right now is Albright. He's consistent. Again, another right hand, snuck it in again.
punch it. Let him go.
Lead right hand there. Albright leaned down like he was going to go downstairs and just popped the right hand.
Being deceptive. That's how you do it. It's like almost like a no-look pass, right? Basketball, no-look pass. They're sneaking that right hand, getting outside that vision, the lead vision of Davis.
What do they say? An image says more than 1,000 words. Round 9 of a scheduled 10-round fight. Kelvin Davis, Nahir Albright, Mark Kriegel. What does your unofficial scorecard look like through 8?
78-74, 6 rounds to 2. You know, Albright hasn't fought in 2+ years. Never fought at this weight before. He's not a 140-pounder. Philly's in the house.
He was active, though, in those short fights, the TCL, I think, with 14 fights. But it doesn't matter, Tim. What matters is what we're seeing right now. And Bomac telling Kelvin Davis, you have to stay off the ropes. That looks terrible.
It does look terrible. But what would help Davis is if he can establish a solid jab outside. Establish his distance outside. He's having a hard time doing that. And what Albright is doing, he's slipping past that jab and he's coming with that right hand. He's doing it off a head movement.
Look, Davis has a 5-inch height advantage, a 3.5-inch reach advantage, and yet he's being beat to the punch by Nahir Albright, who's moving up in weight on top of all the physical disadvantages.
See, get on that jab. Get on that jab. Nice little change right there. Left hand, getting a little bit more busier with his backhand. That's great. That's keeping Albright. He has to respect that power coming from Davis. That's keeping him at bay.
Let him go. Let's stay on his head. No, hold it. You hold it.
Fight's starting to get real ugly. Real sloppy fight right now by both fighters.
And that favors Albright completely because he's put in the work in the middle rounds.
And he's making him use his legs as well. Albright is. And I almost feel like the taller fighter got to make Albright use his legs. Like, you got to learn how to lean on the shorter man. Lean on him. You get yourself compromised. Hey, pull his head down. You know, force him to use his legs. Don't allow him to throw those punches, you know, in close like he's doing.
82 power punches landed through 9 rounds for Nahir Albright compared to 40 for Kelvin Davis. That tells the story of this fight.
Straight left hand. That was nice.
Kelvin Davis, 15-0 with 8 knockouts. He may need to make it 9 knockouts to come away with the win against Nahir Albright, who lost a majority decision against Keyshawn Davis, Kelvin's middle brother, who then had it overturned when he tested positive for marijuana because that fight took place in Texas. Tonight, though, Nahir Albright came to fight Tim. Oh, and he lands a nice left hook there early on in round 10.
Albright, he's still looking for that knockout. Still energetic, high energy. Been the same all night for most of the night. Besides that last round when both men seemed to be gasping for air, getting a little sloppy. See, that's exactly what I was talking about right there. That's the position that you want to get Albright in, where you compromise him and you force him to use his legs. He still didn't quite push down on his head, though. He should have.
Nice short left uppercut by Davis after a good lead left. He just needs to let his hands go at this point. Go for broke. Catch Albright reaching. But you got to give Albright a lot of credit for his game plan tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, You got to fight you got to fight different game plans. You got to have a lot in your bag of tools. You know, even if you counterpunch, you like to fight off your back foot, you got to learn how to go forward. Albright has all the skills needed to do whatever's needed to get the job done tonight.
Take a step back.
You know, but I got to say I respect Kelvin. I respect Kelvin Davis. You know, because he's willing to take a fight like this. This was a risky fight for him. Whether he win or lose tonight, I don't know. I'm not a judge. You know, I respect the fact that he was willing to take this challenge tonight against a tough, grimy fighter like Albright.
And you know what? He didn't fold, Tim. He got hurt early on in this fight.
Yes.
And he just
what a big shot.
But then stuff like that happens.
But Albright just walked through it and just kept coming
there's
forward.
another left uppercut.
Let him go, let him go.
It's a good round for Davis. Picking his spots wisely. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Oh, nice right hand from Albright. They didn't have the same zip as it did earlier on.
No, and then you see the legs also of Davis as well. A little rubbery.
Seconds left here in the 10th and final round. Who will win? Who wants it more? Who's willing to put their stamp on this 10th and final round? And for now, it's Albright shoe shining, but letting his hands go. Oh, spin
I ain't never seen that one. That was different,
baby. Wasn't a pretty fight, Tim.
No, it wasn't pretty, but you know what? Dang it, it was a fight. It was a fight. It was interesting early. That's for dang sure. Real interesting early.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go now to your 3 judges scoring at ringside. Your first judge, Brian Costello, sees the fight 95-95. He has it even. That scorecard, however, overruled by judges Dave Braslow, seeing it 97-93, and Judge Paul Wallace scoring it 96-94. Both having it for the winner by majority decision. And now the new silver US WBC Junior Welterweight champion, Pretty Boy Woo Nahir Albright.
The man who did the work got the victory tonight, and he stuns the crowd. He stuns the Davis family.